Welcome to The Average Enthusiast After Dark. Hope you brought your dark chocolate and your dark sunglasses and your dark personality, because we're going to get real emo up in here.
We're going to be on the dark side.
We're going to go so dark, we're going to be Kylo Ren dark. Not only is he dark in the dark side, he's evil, he wears black, and he is so emo. Is it just me, or does he seem like the goth kids in school? He's the guy that would start gauging his ears at 14.
He's probably got some sort of ironic tattoo somewhere.
Sith or bust.
Sith or bust, yeah.
Something like that.
My granddaddy's Darth Vader.
That'd be a terrible tattoo.
It would be really bad.
I'm trying to think now, because Kylo Ren is kind of he's very much like a person you've met before. You know, he gets way too angry, way too quick, super emo, hyper emotional. I'm trying to pair him with an actual stereotype for a person that I've met before.
I was just watching Parks and Rec the other day. There's that weird, is he a brother? What is he? He's always dressed emo.
Oh, Oren?
Oren.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of Oren.
Yeah,
his
he's very
overall
much
look
like
and
that.
personality.
Oh, so what you're saying, that if Kylo Ren was a real person, he would be he'd be hyper vegan, and he'd just, and he'd be you guys know that we're the real meat.
Although if he did eat meat, I'm sure he'd hit his chicken a little on the dark side.
Brandon, you're so dumb. What are we talking about today?
Well, obviously, we're talking about Star Wars. That's a wide gamut now. I mean, man, there's so many ways we could talk about this. We could go in release order. We could do chronological order. We could just jump all over the place.
I prefer machete style.
Machete style.
You never heard of machete style?
Is that the cut up one where they put them all together?
It is the greatest option.
That's not the side by side, is it?
No, it's based off from another style where you go so you can do it in release order, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, in the way George Lucas intended, or you can do chronological order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's self-explanatory. There's another order that machete style is based off from. That order is 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6.
Why jumping after 5?
So the reason why you do that is 4 is definitely the best start to Star Wars, no matter what. No matter how old you are, no matter what generation you jump in, 4 is just...
That makes sense, because it originally was going to be a standalone movie. So
Yeah.
it needs to hold up on its own. So I could see that.
Well, it introduces the lore perfectly, and it introduces the world perfectly, where not anything's left out. You got the Jedi, you got the Sith, you've got dark side, light side, Force, you have the Empire, you have the Rebellion. I mean, everything's laid out in front of you there. So it's a great start to the movie. So you have to start with 4. I don't like doing it in chronological order. You have to start with 4 at least. You jump to 5. Put it as yourself watching these movies for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
What is the climax of episode 5?
Where he gets his arm sliced off.
Well, what's more important in that scene?
Just his arm falling.
He's so focused on the arm. I think it would be that you
Something
find
about
out,
genetics. I don't know. Are we supposed to say this?
No, you find out.
Oh, there we go. I was waiting for that.
Luke
Okay.
Skywalker is Darth Vader's son.
What?
Yeah. So, oh my God, Brandon, you're so dumb.
I didn't know this.
So,
I thought he meant father figure.
no, mentor.
Oh.
No. Stepdad. That would be weird.
I am your...
Luke, I am your stepdad. No, you're not my real dad. Technically, that's true. But your mother and I care about you very much.
Now, see, that would have been a good Kylo Ren plot.
No, stop. Oh, yeah. His parents were divorced. He had stepdad. That's terrible. We have people out there that have divorced parents.
Yeah, I do.
Brandon, you are kind of emo, too. At times, you're playing your metal now.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway.
So then, so that's the penultimate moment. You find out that, which is great. If you're watching it for the first time, you already knew that, but it's nice to see that scene still. Then, once you figure that out, you go to 1, 2, 3. You see it as a flashback.
Oh, okay.
So literally, you watch the movies as a flashback, and then you go into episode 6. Picture that moment where the end of episode 3, where you find out the origins of Darth Vader. You know, you see Obi-Wan kill. You see the plot for episode 4 start to take place. Go from that to the start of episode 6, where it's almost like when we last left our heroes. Then it's R2-D2 and C-3PO going to Jabba the Hutt's palace to rescue Han Solo. So it's like a great transition moment. Like perfect. Like there's so much at the end of episode 5, which is my favorite Star Wars episode. There's so much thick plot that happened at the end of the movie. You don't even have to have any exposition in episode 6. It's literally when we last left our heroes, you move on.
Yeah.
So it's the perfect time to like slow down the combat, slow down the story, and do a flashback or something like that. Hence, that's when you watch episode 1, 2, and 3. Then you jump into 6 when we left our heroes. They're about to go rescue their friends so that they can officially go and destroy the Empire, which of course they succeed. I don't know if you've seen that. Machete style, that has a name. I can't remember what it's called. With Machete style, you eliminate episode 1 because number 1, not a lot of people like it. Number 2, it gives you plot. Think about episode 1 really clearly. What happened in episode 1? Go. Give me some basic plot lines.
You basically see where Anakin came from.
Great.
And how he got picked up into the Force Buddies, we'll call them, the Jedi.
Like the Force Buddies.
The Force Buddies.
Hey, Force Buddy. Come on, Force Buddy.
I'm pretty sure it's mentioned in episode 1. We learn about midichlorians that really throw off some canon.
Which got retconned later on.
Right, yeah. So, although that's even up for debate because after Disney took over, they said everything that wasn't in the movies was basically no longer canon, but the movies were canon.
J.J. Abrams retconned midichlorians.
JJ did? Okay.
Yeah. The way he did it, too, because there was some books that came out, too, it essentially stated that it was still canon, but they were wrong about the midichlorians.
Huh.
It had nothing to do with it.
Threw it in as a weird science fact. They were attracted to the Force
Yeah,
or
it's
something
kind
weird
of
like that.
It's kind of like right now, apparently chocolate is good for you. And then 10 years from now, they're going to say, chocolate is bad for you. Stay away from it.
You need to stop watching Vox.
Well, I'm just saying, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's essentially what they did in the Star Wars universe with midichlorians. Like, oh no, the more midichlorians have, the more powerful of a Jedi you are. And then like, what was it? 50, 60 years after that, then all of a sudden they say in the universe, oh no, it turns out midichlorians mean nothing. We had that wrong the whole time.
Can you imagine like Jedi clickbait? You'll never believe what the Force has found. Click here for more.
What the Force has found. I saw a YouTube thing, and it was about, I think I've told you this once. The whole thing was about what if Yoda quit the Force and became a stand-up comedian. So like literally he quits like the Force and the Jedi. I don't know. It's just funny.
So anyway, so episode 1. So yeah, we learn about Anakin, where he came from, incorrect background on the Force. We learn what pod racing is because it matters.
There is some stuff about intergalactic trade. So here's the thing though. All that stuff, if you watch episode 2 and 3 or any of the other episodes,
It's all recapped.
you don't need the first episode at all. You really don't. You can jump in episode 2, Senator Amidala. She's flying down on the ship, and then you find out that she's being targeted for assassination. You could have started like that, introduced us to Amidala, and then introduced us to Anakin and Obi-Wan, and that's it. I mean, like the way they did it, it's like they gave us re-exposition there.
What'd be really nice about that is you could pretty much totally scrap Jar Jar Binks.
You could scratch Jar Jar Binks. You know what stinks about it though? It means you'd have to get rid of Qui-Gon Jinn.
Oh.
And I mean, like, and I know that.
But no, that could be a good thing. And I'll tell you why. Because
we can use Liam Neeson
we
later
can
on
use
for
Liam
something
Neeson
else.
again. You get rid of episode 1.
Let's get rid of webisode 1.
Webisodes.
Webisode.
There were webisodes, weren't there?
There's the Clone Wars stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, you get rid of episode 1. We get Liam Neeson back. He's back in the roster. Throw him on the bench and wait for a really good character. And we'll throw him in there again. Because I'll kid you not.
Yeah.
So I just watched Rogue One. I know I'm really late. Sorry, guys. Oh, crap. I can't even remember his name now. I just watched it.
Jin Asaro?
Yeah. When I first saw him, he had a very similar like profile to Liam Neeson. And then it threw me off because I'm like, you can't reuse actors like that. Although there was the, before episode 8 came out, people were thinking that Snoke's was, who was Samuel L. Jackson's character?
Mace Windu.
Mace Windu.
Yeah,
They thought it
everybody
was him that he didn't die.
It
that he
still
was
could be.
resurrected. I guess,
Still
but
could be.
what would it add at this point? Now that he's shaky. Uh,
What? It's still in theaters, Brandon.
now that he's dead.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. Sorry. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. They could have done a lot with that, but
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Although I wonder how the timing would work on that, because there can only be 2 Sith at a time, right? Because there's the master and then the apprentice, and then the final act of the apprentice is to overthrow your master and then find a new apprentice, right? Isn't that how the Sith works, or is that all retcon too?
No. So the Sith do not generally work that way. That's the way the Jedi see it. Like the Sith would never go, like you would never teach your apprentice to be like, one day you will kill me and you will become the master.
I guess that's a good
They're not
point.
going to do that. That's the way the Jedi see the Sith.
Okay.
In a lot of ways, it's true. It genuinely works that way. But the Sith actually work in a lot of ways. In the Old Republic, they actually were much like the Jedi, where they had their own temple. There were many Sith lords out there. They would bring in young Force users to learn the ways of the dark side, stuff like that. Here is my question for you. Top Star Wars character. Who's your favorite? All time, movies or other canon references?
Well, that's easy. Jar Jar Binks.
Mm.
No, no, not at all. You know what's funny is like when that movie first came out, and before I saw the movie, it seemed like, oh, this will be like a really cool, fun character. No, he's extremely annoying.
Did you watch it when it first came out?
Yeah, I watched it in theaters when I was
did
a
not.
youngin'.
I don't know. My brothers and I went to see Flubber. And my
Close enough. Close enough.
and then John, my brother John, went to go see Star Wars. No, that's not true. I went to see Flubber. John went to see Star Wars, and Chris and Tom went to see Ocean's 11 at that same time.
Oh wow.
We just all went to the movies. That was when it was downtown, and we lived like right there, and we just all went at the same time. I know we were weird like that.
No, I guess in all honesty, I think my favorite character is probably Han Solo. Thinking only in the mainline series, and I guess do we count Rogue One in the main series? I mean, it basically is, right?
No.
It's like episode 3.5,
No,
kind of a
it's,
thing.
it's a part of the Star Wars Legends series,
Oh, is it?
which
But
are all going to
literally
be
leads
canon.
straight into
Mhm.
4,
It's a Star Wars Legends series, which are all canon, but
not considered main,
the mainline series.
or just the episodes.
Well, yeah, they're just the episodes. I thought the criteria was that they followed the Skywalkers, but now
I mean, that
they
might not be
changed it up a
true.
little bit.
It's possible that none of the Skywalkers are even in 9.
It essentially follows the main storyline between the Sith and the Jedi. You know, then all the Legends series, they will be little branches, off branches here and there, stuff like that.
Okay.
So we had the Han Solo movie coming out in May. You know, that's going to be a Star Wars Legends
Right.
called Solo. It's going to be a solo movie called Solo.
A solo movie called Solo, yeah.
It's going to be a drum solo in it. It's going to be great.
Speaking of Solo, yeah, I think overall he's probably my favorite character. I really don't pick a lot of favorites, but if I had to pick one, I'd pick him. I kind of just like him as a character because he's kind of the disbelief he has.
Yeah.
I think is kind of interesting because like it's a different kind of disbelief, because at first it's just like whatever, the Force, but then he actually sees it work. And he's still just kind of like, whatever. Like, it's such a strong disbelief.
In episode 6 and 7, he believed in it. He talked about it in 7.
Yeah. I mean, he
How he
believes
said-
in it, but he's still just so
He gives a
off-put
line
by
like,
it.
you know, there's something about those old stories, as he's telling Rey and Finn.
Right.
Something about those old stories, they were true.
Yeah.
You know, so he does believe in it in the end, you know, and then he dies.
He does.
Like that timing.
It's good.
No, I'm a huge Han Solo fan. Do you know about how much Harrison Ford made playing that character in total?
About 350.
500 million.
That's it? No.
500 million. Salary for the actual movies was less than that, but he got some pretty sick royalty deals as well. Do you know how much he made? My manager and I, we looked up all this like last night because we found out Robert Downey Jr. for the next 2 Infinity Wars movies, he's slated to make with royal, because he actually is the only superhero that has a royalty deal for the superhero he plays.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Captain America, nobody else does, but Robert Downey Jr. does for Tony Stark and Iron Man for both, because technically they're two separate characters when you play those. He is slated to make 200 million for the two movies, the Infinity War movies.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? Anyways, he'll probably become the most highest paid actor of all time after that too. Harrison Ford made 500 million amongst all the movies that he's been in. For Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, the latest Indiana Jones movie, he made 60 million for that piece of junk. I mean, it was still popular. They made a lot of money with it, but 60 million. 60 million for that. Isn't that amazing?
I don't feel bad for saying I didn't watch that one.
It had its moments. It was just no, I'm not going to defend it. I really don't. I normally don't like being a bandwagon, but I really didn't like it. There's some weird stuff.
That is definitely a series I should go back and rewatch, though. Indiana Jones. It's been so long.
Why hello, Dr. Jones?
Yeah, I bet it'd be almost comical because of stuff like that now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Whoa, tangent. So Han Solo's mine. What's yours?
What do you think mine is? Because I've always been pretty open about mine.
Yoda? Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, why are you so dumb? What is wrong with you?
Rey.
No.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
I mean, I do like Rey a lot. She is très adorable.
But you know what? I don't care for her as much in this last movie.
No? You didn't care for Rey?
I started just kind of disconnecting with her.
My favorite is that alien that Luke squeezes the blue milk out of.
Wait, do we ever get a name for those things? Do we even know what they're called? I don't think they were ever addressed.
They're quad boobs.
Quad boobs.
Because that is definitely what they are. You know what was weird about that scene?
Everything?
We've talked about this.
Yes.
I am pretty sure that they had that weird blue milk scene in there just like in order to make fun of themselves. So that like that would become a meme. It just adds to the popularity. Like, what is this weird scene in the Star Wars movie? Because literally, it wasn't like a cow with like an udder with little, things sticking out of it. It was 4 distinct breasts. He grabbed a boob. He grabbed it by the haunch, squeezed it like a baby does, and gave himself blue milk.
And then gave this really awkward stare at Rey afterwards.
It was so quiet. Oh, the awkward stare from that weird alien, the giraffe thing.
Everything was just odd about that whole thing.
Anyways, that's my favorite character. Do you think it felt good to the alien? Like he enjoyed it? She enjoyed it?
You don't know. It could be he.
Here's the real question. Okay. We assume it's milk because it looks like it's coming out of a breast. What if it is...
No.
I'm not going to give specifics. I'm just saying, what if it is a completely different fluid coming out of a completely different organ of the alien, but we don't know it because it's an alien. We don't know the anatomy of that thing.
That's true. It could be some unknown body part that we don't encounter or have here.
It could be urine.
It could be.
I'm just saying.
I don't think so because that would imply that it's waste. It's obviously not waste. I hope.
You've thought about this a lot.
I hope it's not waste.
Maybe the nutrients that aren't important to that creature are important to us. So it is urine.
It could be waste.
I mean, literally, flies eat our poop.
That's true.
Speaking of
I guess
crap,
it could be waste.
What if it's crap?
What if it's also true? Okay, so to answer your question.
That's not my favorite.
Do they enjoy it? Honestly, there's just a bunch of them sitting on the rocks waiting for it to happen. So.
I mean, and they're like just sitting there. It's not like a creature that's like on all fours or something.
Right, they're just hanging out.
It
waiting.
looks like a dude just sitting there, just like, and they're looking at the sunset with each other, and they're just looking out there. Then all of a sudden, this guy comes in and squeezes their haunch, gets some blue milk. They're like, oh, literally, like, let's make a conversation right now. Hey, Bill, look at that beautiful sunset over there.
Oh, it looks great.
I just really enjoy being on this island and
it's beautiful. I love
having
this place.
Conversation with you. And hey, who's this guy coming up here?
Oh, I've seen him before.
I don't know. Maybe he just come to enjoy the.
No, what is he doing to you?
Hello.
My turn.
Oh, I'm gonna look at this other person. Do you see what he's doing? See, it just makes no sense.
It's a very odd
dumb.
scene.
It's so dumb.
It is.
Anyways, so my favorite character is Darth Vader. Always has been, always will be.
Darth Vader.
Love Darth Vader. I love him. James Earl Jones is Darth Vader. It's amazing. He I remember watching episode 4 when they released the Blu-rays. I think that was like 2011. They released Blu-rays, and I bought them right away. The moment I saw them, I had to have them. Two things I noticed. First thing was some of the stormtroopers on their chest plate. It's slightly, you can slightly see a number for like the costume or something like that. So like the one you noticed the most, and you didn't notice in the original, but you noticed in the high definition one, because there was such a slight little writing on there, and it took up. It's almost like an engraving in the chest plate armor
Hmm.
that took up the entire front chest. It said like 0 on one breast and 7 on the other.
Hmm.
And I remember I noticed it on a couple of them, and I kind of squinted. And then one of the stormtroopers was close to Darth Vader as they zoomed in on him, and it was very clear. It says 07 on his chest.
Hmm.
And it was just to help them number the costume, but it was so subtle that you weren't supposed to see it on film
Yeah.
until they had the HD Blu-rays. But I remember when they zoomed in on Darth Vader's helmet in episode 4 in the Blu-ray, his helmet looked like so plasticky, and it just looked like the little ends, like the sharp edges in the helmet, were like not sharp. They were all like clearly like molded by hand and stuff like that. I think I even saw a fingerprint in one part of it.
Oh, jeez.
And then you watch episode 5 and 6 in HD, and they cleaned it up a lot better and everything. But
Yeah.
it really, like, I really remember seeing like the cost that they actually put into the first Star Wars movie was not very much.
Well, they only get so much budget.
So here's a question: have you ever actually watched the Star Wars Holiday Special? You haven't watched it?
I couldn't make it all the way through.
How far did you get?
I got like 15 minutes maybe.
It gets weird. Like there's like some weird like Julia Child alien that's like on a
probably
cooking
about
show.
where I stopped. That
Right
got
there?
really weird.
Yeah, yeah.
It's on YouTube, so you can find it.
Mhm.
But yeah, don't
No.
watch it.
No. Happy Light Day.
Happy Light Day.
You know what's weird too about the blue milk? They call
You're
it.
back to that.
just hit me. They call it blue milk in the movies,
Did
so
they
they
say
must
blue milk?
recognize that it's a different color milk. Does that mean they have
Opposed to
white
white
milk
milk?
there?
Well, maybe they just always give milk a color designation because there's so many different kinds.
Yeah.
Because maybe
Yeah.
there's pink milk and brown milk and
Green milk.
Green.
What do you think Chewbacca's mother's milk was colored?
We just assume they're mammals, but they might not.
I
be.
assume it was some sort of fluorescent chartreuse.
It could be that as well.
It could be. Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, this has gone in a lot of places.
I love the way they force ghost Yoda in
Oh,
episode 8. I love the way they did it. He was a puppet again, which was
Yeah.
such a great idea. Like he literally was like bouncing around and everything like a puppet, like he's back in his old age again, like when he was there.
Or if he's not a puppet, they did a really good job on the CG. So, but
Yeah.
it felt more practical effects than
Yeah.
CG. So
I mean, they could have done CG, and either
It's-
way, they made him like a puppet.
yeah, it's not like what would it be episode 3,
Which I'm not
Is that the one
mad.
where he was bouncing around battling.
That's episode 2.
Was
at
that
the end of
2?
episode
Okay.
2, which I'm not mad at. I love that too.
It was a good scene, and at the time, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But now looking back at it, you're like, oh, that's totally CG.
He was already 960 at that time.
Yeah.
What's the difference between him being 960 being able to do that and 980 being frail and not being able to do it anymore
Hey man,
and dying?
those last 20 feel like 200.
I was gonna say those last 20. Yeah, Star Wars is awesome. You
It
know,
is.
we'll dabble here and there. More and more conversations. But let us know who your favorite character is. Very interested in that. Brandon, do you want to give us the hashtags?
Sure, Kenneth. You can find us at Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and of course you can subscribe on iTunes and Google Play. We hope to hear from you. Join us on our Facebook group and post your favorite character and episode of Star Wars.
Oh, okay, sorry, I'll stop. You ever see me do that before? So one of my favorite jokes to do. This is from Ethan Ambrose. I'm gonna call him out right now. He does this. He'll ask you to like pass him his cup at the end of the table. And like if you're gonna get up or something, he'll be like, "Hey Brandon, can you pass me that cup?" And then as you're about to walk up to him, he holds his hand out to pick it up. And as you're walking still, he'll go,
Oh, gosh.
to make it look like the cup is floating to him.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things. Ethan, you're the man. Star Wars, you're awesome. JJ, cannot wait for episode 9. I'm glad he's back in it. That's going to be awesome.
May the force be with him.
That was a podcast you chose to listen to. Do you think you make good choices? Whether you do, you heard Brandon and Kendall talk about things that are cool. We're feeling enthusiastic that you can be average too.
So dumb. So dumb.